right, fire it up. Just do your thing here, bud. Nobody's any better at this than you are.
Have fun, take a deep breath.
Give him hell at the end. You like this?
Fight like hell like we do every week. You are the best here.
Brett, be affirmative. You told me to get on. Info.
Ready. Ready. Slow. Green, green, green.
Lock it down, lock it down.
I'm destroyed, and I just got drove through like 6 times on the 14th. So, excuse me, thank you. That is the stupidest thing I've seen in my career. Literally.
Everything you described is accurate. Haven't even finished the second stage yet. Half the field's wrecked.
Hell yeah.
11 got it. Rowdy there, Matt. Good job, pal. Thanks, man. Good job all day. Great work, my man. Great work.
Keep putting yourself in position, we'll win our share, right? We got one back today, brother. Good job.
Therefore, great job, guys.
And welcome back to race 18 of 26 of the regular season NASCAR Cup. Headed to Pocono in the Tricky Triangle. Hope everybody's having a great week and enjoyed last week's actually very entertaining race, other than Kyle Larson walking away with another win. 4 straight if you include the All-Star race, or 3 straight if you decide not to. But either way, Kyle Larson is hands down dominant. There's no other way to put it. He just is. Next to when Jimmy Johnson went on this kind of a tear back in the 2000s and early 2000s, and when Jeff Gordon did it in the late 90s. This guy is for sure unreal. But let's take a look at what happened last week. All right, optimal lineups from Nashville. Only one dominator for that entire race, and it was Kyle Larson with the most points I think that I can ever remember a driver getting in one particular race, with 174.85, almost 175 points, almost a perfect race. Led 264 of the 300 laps, had 133 fastest laps, and pretty much from there back for your optimal lineups was all point differentials. Ross Chastain, Kurt Busch, Ricky Stenhouse, Daniel Suarez, and Christopher Bell. Ross Chastain and Ricky Stenhouse really came on quite strong in this race. And it was good to see. Also, some notables that came on strong were Stewart Haas Racing, decided to come and show up last week. Supposedly, listening to the broadcast, it sounded like Stewart Haas and the drivers had a, can we say it, come to Jesus discussion about their performance this year, and they said they had to fix it, so they completely redid everything, and results did show up on the track a little bit. Don't have their exact finishing orders, but they definitely finished much better than they had in the past. Now, with it being a fairly level playing field, going to a track that most people have never been on may have had something to do with it, but either way. So, who is leading in the optimal lineup contest for the year so far? Kyle Larson and Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez, 7 optimal lineups so far for this year, tied with Kyle Larson with 7 also. Martin Truex, Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, and Ross Chastain. There's another name that we just discussed. So literally from this past week, Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez both being in the top of the optimal lineups. All right. Hey, I always forget and say this at the end. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you know anybody else that may be interested in this type of material about DraftKings and NASCAR, would love to have you share it and follow and like it. So if you could, do me a favor and hit that like button. All right, let's get into Pocono Organics 325, which is actually a CBD, even though they're not supposed to put that on the logo, I guess. But it's a CBD company. track type this week is a super speedway, not the typical super speedway that we are used to as in Talladega or Daytona, but track length is 2.5 miles, which makes it the super speedway. Very flat track, 14 degrees in one corner. There's only 3 of them, right? 3 corners, 14 degrees, 8 degrees, 6 degrees. So very flat. Modeled a lot after Indianapolis Motor Speedway in a lot of ways. Race length here is 130 laps, so dominators will not be as important. We will need to have at least 1, maybe 2, with, as we will see, Kyle Larson starting from the point position this week from the pole. He could easily get out and at least lead the first 25 laps. Making sure that he will get some dominator points as long as he finishes first or second or third. I hate starting people in the first spot, but you know, it is what it is. So laps led 32.5 and fast laps 58.5, giving us a grand total of potential of 91 dominator points. Points will be very similar to most super speedways and road courses. Let's get to our pricing and our top tier. Of course, Kyle Larson being the most expensive, $12,500 starting from the pole. He did miss both of the races last year here at Pocono. Power ranking this week of 3, mostly because of the starting position, and you'll see that we've got some other drivers here who perform really, really well at Pocono. But kind of his breakdowns in the last 3 races that he has raced, 1 top 5, 1 top 10, 1 top 20, a 35.2 DraftKings average and an 18.0 average finish. Did not race in the last race here, so that's an A, and it has 12 total starts here with 3 top 5, 6 top 10s, and 9 top 20s. I do expect Kyle Larson to potentially be a dominator, so don't take the 3 outranking as somebody I don't like for the win and potentially the dominator. Just power ranking hits into a lot of things. Next in line, Chase Elliott, 11,000, starting 29th. Yeah, he had issues. His crew had issues. They had 5 lug nuts at the end of the Nashville race, loose or missing on that car, so that disqualified him for everything. It was pretty much like he started the engine and then turned it off and never raced. So he gets a grand starting position of 29th. But that's a lot of PD upside. He races decently well here. It's not one of his best tracks, but I think he could easily come up through the field. He doesn't have any wins in the last 5 or any wins at all at Pocono, but does have in the last 5 races 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and 3 top 20s, a 26.9 DraftKings average, and a 15.6 average finished. He has raced here 10 times total. Finished 4th here in the second race at Pocono. Last year we had a doubleheader weekend very similar to what we have this weekend. Oh, that reminds me, I will also be doing a updated video late Saturday evening and try to have it posted for everyone for the Sunday race. So we've got Saturday at 3:30 and a Sunday at 3:30. Races back-to-back weekends. Trucks are on Saturday at noon and Xfinity is Sunday at noon. So if you're doing those, make sure you're getting your bets and everything in correctly. If you're not doing DraftKings but doing the NASCAR fantasy stuff, you will need to put 2 separate lineups in, and those won't be available, and pricing for DraftKings will not be available until after they have the starting lineups. Alright, so Chase Elliott, 11,000, finished 4th here in the second race last year. No wins, 3 top 5, 7 top 10, 7 top 20s out of his 10 total starts here at Pocono. Next in line, Martin Truex Jr. in that bright yellow Stanley car. A little different for him. 10,700 starting 15th. Got some PD upside here with Martin Truex Jr. And everybody's probably wondering what is going on with Martin Truex Jr. lately. He has not been performing well. No official word on that, but I think because he did come out with a bang at the beginning of the season and won 3 races, I think he's kind of taken, I wouldn't say his foot off the pedal, but I think they're trying different combinations and different setups potentially for the playoff run that will be coming very soon. So I think that may be kind of what we're seeing with Truex Jr. But starting 15th in the last 5 races, doesn't have a win here. Does have 2 total wins here. In the last 5 races, though, 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, 4 top 20s, 29.8 DraftKings average, and a 13.8 average finish. He finished 10th here in the second race last year. Does have a total of 2 wins, like I said, out of his 30 total starts, along with 6 top 5s, 13 top 10s, and 23 top 20s. Next in line, Ryan Blaney, 10,200, starting 27th. Another good option for points differential. Now, we can't have all these guys at that price range, but I would definitely have at least one of these guys in your starting lineups. You know, if you do multiple lineups, probably run one of each to kind of cover yourself on all bases. But I think Truex Jr. or Chase Elliott is probably your best bet for PD upside starting 29th. Ryan Blaney starting 27th, like I said, in the last 5 races, has 0 wins, 0 top 5s, 1 top 10, and 4 top 20s, a 37.6 DraftKings average, and a 13.6 average finish. He finished 22nd here in the second race last year. Has 10 total starts at Pocono with 1 win, 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, and 8 top 20s. Next in line, Kyle Busch at $10,000, starting 5th. In the last 5 races here at Pocono, he does have 2 wins, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 4 top 20s with a 54.1 DraftKings average. I think that might be the highest. If not, it's Denny. And a 10.8 average finish. And in the second race last year at Pocono, he finished 38th. And his his total 32 starts at Pocono is he's got 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 16 top 10s, and 20 top 20s. All right, our next grouping here has got Denny Hamlin, who is our number 1 on the power ranking. Gives us a little bit of PD upside starting 10th. But in the last 5 races here, he does have 2 wins, 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. So in the last 5, he's finished in the top 10 every time. 56.3 DraftKings average, 4.0 average finish. He finished first here in his second race last year. And I think it was Kevin Harvick who finished first in the first race. But 6 total wins here at Pocono. He is pretty much Mr. Pocono. That's the reason for the number 1 power ranking, along with a little bit of PD upside. I expect Denny to definitely contend, if not for the win, definitely for the optimal lineup. 13 top 5s out of his 30 total starts, 20 top 10s, and 24 top 20s. Next in line, Brad Keselowski, 9,500, starting 18th. Another PD upside potential here with Brad. 9th on the power ranking, doesn't have any wins in his last 5 starts here at Pocono, but does have 1 top 5, 3 top 4s, and 4 top 20s, a 28.4 DraftKings average, and a 13.6 average finish. He finished 11th here in the second race last year. I really can't call it the fall race, even that's typically what we would call it, but it was the second race of the doubleheader. Does have 1 win in his 22 total starts here, along with 10 top 5s, 13 top 10s, and 18 top 20s. All right, next in line here, we've got Kevin Harvick, starting 3rd. 6th in the power ranking. In his last 5 starts here, it does have that 1 win, which did come in the first race at Pocono last year. 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 4 top 20s, a 60.1 DraftKings average. That's the highest DraftKings average of everyone so far, and actually of everyone in this breakdown. 7th place average finish, which is second behind Denny Hamlin. He finished second here in the second race. He does have that one win, 14 top 5s, 20 top 10s, and 36 top 20s. And he's raced here a total of 40 times. All right, William Byron next in line at $9,000, starting outside pole in the second position. Does have a power ranking of 4. No wins in the last 5. In fact, no wins at all at Pocono, but he hasn't been racing here that long. Only 6 total starts, but in his last 5, 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. 49.4 DraftKings average and an 8.0 average finish. He finished 7th here in the second race, and as I said, no wins. And everything's the same except for he does have 6 top 20s. So he has not finished worse than 20th out of his 6 total starts at Pocono. Next in line, Joey Logano, 8,800, starting 4th. Power ranking of 11 this week. No wins in his last 5 starts here. 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, 5 top 20s, a 49.4 DraftKings average, and a 21.2 average finish. He finished 24th here in the second race. 1 win out of his 24 total starts, along with 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s, and 13 top 20s. Alright, our next grouping here, we'll start with Alex Bowman, 8,600. He'll be starting 13th and has a power ranking of 14. No wins at Pocono, and in his last 5 starts, he has 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, 4 top 20s, and a 28.6 DraftKings average and a 14.8 average finish. He did finish 9th here in the second race. Has no wins, as I said before, and out of his 10 total starts here, he has 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and 4 top 20s. Alright, next in line, Kurt Busch, 8,400, will be starting 8th and has a power ranking of 15th this week. Doesn't have any wins in his last 5 starts here, but does have 1 top 10 and 4 top 20s, 25.1 DraftKings average, and a 15.6 average finish. He finished 13th here in the second race last year, and out of his total of 39 starts, he has 3 wins, 14 top 5s, 20 top 10s, and 28 top 20s. Alright, next in line, Christopher Bell, 8,200, will be starting 9th on Saturday, 18th on the power ranking, and only has 2 total starts here. So his stats for that are 1 top 5, 1 top 10, 1 top 20, a 26.2 DraftKings average, and a 21.5 average finish. The finish definitely from the second race last year has really kind of put him down on the average finish. Next in line, Chris Buescher, 8,000, starting 25th. We got another driver with some PD upside here, after having some troubles with his brakes at Nashville, but 17th on the power ranking this week, and he, in his last 5 starts, has 1 top 10, 3 top 20s, an 18.7 average finish, and a 22.6 average finish, and an 18.7 DraftKings average. Finished 36th here in the second race last year. 1 win total out of his 10 starts, and that was actually a fog and rain shortened race for his only cup win so far. Maybe he can make it 2. I mean, he was running fairly well in that race, but it did help that the fog rolled in and the spotters couldn't see and nobody could see anything because the track is so big. But has 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and 6 top 20s out of his 10 total starts here at Pocono. Next in line, Tyler Reddick, 7,900. Tyler struggles here because there's no steep banks or high tire wear. which really kind of play into Tyler's hands. He has not done very well here in the past. As you can see, no wins, no top 5s, no top 10s, no top 20s, and a whopping 0.1 DraftKings average, and an average finish of 32.5. I expect Tyler to probably do a little bit better this weekend. So don't let that completely scare you off of Tyler, but I will be very cautious on how many lineups he makes. They're just better drivers in the field at that price range. One of them being right above him, Chris Buescher. So, starting 16th, but finished 35th here in the second race last year, and has had 2 total starts here at Pocono. All right, our next grouping here, Austin Dillon, top of the chart here at $7,700, starting 12th with a power ranking of 19th. He's been just kind of Mr. Consistent this year. He doesn't make a whole lot of optimal lineups, does fairly decent in the points, but if we're shooting for optimal lineups, Austin Dillon's probably not going to be your guy this weekend, just because there's not enough PD upside. But he's been running very consistent this year, and that's consistency will get you into the chase and potentially into far into the playoff field. But his stats here in the last 5 are 2 top 10s and 4 top 20s, a 21.8 DraftKings average, and a 20.4 average finish. 14 total times he has raced here at Pocono, and finished 14th in the second one last year, and only has 11 top 20s. That doesn't make any sense because he's got 2 top 5s there. Something got messed up there. Let me check real quick. Austin Dillon. Oops, no, he does not have 2 top 10s. It is 2 top 15s. Just misread that. So no top 10s here in his 14 total starts. 11 top 20s though. Okay, next in line here we've got Eric Almirola at 7,300, starting 11th. He actually won the pole last weekend at Nashville, and then proceeded to have a very good race for Stewart-Haas and for himself this year. And boy, does he need some better luck. And maybe they have turned the corner at Stewart-Haas. I'm still not going to go fully in on Stewart-Haas's back, but one race at a time, we'll start to put them there. But he does have really good experience here at Pocono with 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and 4 top 20s in his last 5 starts, with a 41.5 DraftKings average and a 11th place average finish. He finished 5th here in the fall race, has raced here 17 total times, does not have a win, but has the 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 9 top 20s. Alright, next in line here, Matty DiBenedetto, Matty D, 7,100, starting 21st, and has a power ranking of 13th this week. Out of his last 5 starts here at Pocono, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and 4 top 20s, a 26.9 DraftKings average and a 16.0 average finish. He did finish 6th here in the second race last year. Total of 12 total starts at Pocono, with only 1 top 10 and 4 top 20s, and that doesn't make sense either. Matt DiBenedetto. Yeah, that number over there to the bottom left is wrong. He has 1 top 10 and 4 top 20s, which is pretty much what he has for his 12 total starts. Alright, next in line here, Chase Briscoe. First time starting here in the Cup Series, and he'll be starting 28th. He's 26th on the power ranking. Just getting into that little cautionary period of not sure if I want to have much of Mr. Chase Briscoe, but does have pretty good results here in the Xfinity Series with 1 win, 2 top 5s out of his 3 starts. Alright, next in line we've got Ross Chastain, who had a tremendous run last weekend, and potentially, no, I'd take that back. He was faster than the leader, but the leader was conserving fuel. I think if Ross had gotten close enough Kyle would have just hit the gas and pulled away from him again. But either way, he still had a really, really good run, still had to pass a lot of drivers, and his fuel strategy and tire strategy worked out really well for him. He'll be starting 6th this weekend, though. Out of his 3 of the 5 starts here, he doesn't have any top 20s, 12.7 DraftKings average, and a 29.7 average finish. But in Xfinity, he's raced here 5 times, he does have 1 top 5, 1 top 10, and 5 top 20s. Probably not the best suited track for Ross, but and starting 6th may have outkicked his pricing and points potential, giving him 22nd on the power ranking. Not much I can really say. I don't think I'll have much of Mr. Watermelon Man this weekend. All right, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 6,600, starting 7th, and whopping 31 on the power ranking. Oh, Ricky, let's look at some of those stats. In the last 5 races here at Pocono, no top 5, no top 10, 2 top 20s, a 13.1 DraftKings average, and a 21.4 average finish. Well, that could be the reason why. 21.4 average finish, starting 7th. You're going to lose some valuable positions. Finished 15th here in the 2nd race last year, and only has 9 top 20s out of his 16 total starts. All right, next in line, Daniel Suarez, who he just has been consistently getting better and better every week, and that team has really started to gel really well. 6,500, starting 14th, 16th on the power ranking, does have 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, 2 top 20s out of his last 5 starts, 27.4 DraftKings average, and a 17.6 average finish. Finished 26th here in the 2nd race last year, and out of his 8 total starts here at Pocono, 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, and 4 top 20s. All right, next in line, Eric Jones, 6,400, starting 22nd, has a power ranking of 12th. But remember, most of these stats are when he was with Joe Gibbs and not with Richard Petty Motorsports. And out of the last 5 starts here, he has 4 top 5s, 4 top 10s, 4 top 20s, a 39.5 DraftKings average, and a 10.2 average finish. He has raced here 8 different times. His best finish was last year's 3rd place finish, and has 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s, 6 top 20s, and his 8 total starts here at Pocono. Cole Custer, 6,300, starting 26th, 25th on the power ranking, just because they still just, a lot of the stats from earlier this year are definitely keeping his power ranking down, but this may be one of the better power rankings we've seen for Cole Custer. Does have, in the last 5 starts here, only 2 top 20s, a 25.0 DraftKings average, and a 16.5 average finish. He finished 17th here last year, and out of his 3 total starts, only has those 2 top 20s. But in the Xfinity Series, he's raced here 3 times and does have 1 win, 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. Next in line, Ryan Preece, 6,200, starting 31st, has a power ranking this week of 29th. Let's find out why. 1 top 20 out of his last 5 starts, actually only 4 starts, and a 26.3 average finish. He finished 25th here in the 2nd race of the year, 2nd race at Pocono. All right, next in line, Bubba Wallace at 6,100, and look at that cool looking car with DraftKings on the side of it. And it's about time they actually got into the game of sponsoring some of these drivers. And Bubba Wallace is a hot commodity right now, so why not join on and get yourself on that car? Good job, DraftKings. Starting 20th this week, 21st on the power ranking with only 1 top 20 in his last 5 starts, and actually only 1 top 20 in his 7 total starts. But he does have a 21.0 DraftKings average and a 23.6 average finish. Finished 20th here in the 2nd race at Pocono. Next in line, Corey LaJoie, 6,000, starting 23rd. Had a pretty decent run at Nashville until late in the going, but still enough to get him to start up at 23rd. 30th on the power ranking, mostly because there's not a whole lot of PD upside with Corey. He may get himself in the top 20, maybe top 15, but that's going to be about as high as he will probably get. Does have a 12.3 DraftKings average and a 29.0 average finish. Finished 21st here in the second race of the year at Pocono. And as you can see, no top 20s. 7 total starts. Justin Haley, 5,900, starting 34th, 38th, and last on the power ranking. Doesn't have any starts here, so it's really tough to kind of figure out. But even if we look at his 2 Xfinity starts, no top 5s, 1 top 10, and 1 top 20. They're better money savers in lower than here if we're trying to find some value. Okay, next in line, Ryan Newman, 5,800, starting 19th, 20th on the power ranking. In the last 5 races here, he has 1 top 10, 5 top 20s, 28.7 DraftKings average, and a 14.2 average finish. Finished 18th here in the second race, and has 1 win, 9 top 5s, 15 top 10s, and 32 top 20s. He's raced here 38 total times. So not bad stat there, considering starting 19th. He's got 32 of 38. It's only 6 times out of 38 that he's finished outside the top 20. So not too bad for Mr. Ryan Newman. Okay, next in line, we've got Michael McDowell at 5,600, starting 17th after a pretty decent run at Nashville. 23rd on the power ranking this week, 1 top 10, 3 top 20s in his last 5 starts here at Pocono. 22.4 DraftKings average and a 21.8 average finish. He finished 40th. 40th in this second race of the Pocono doubleheader weekend. And out of his 17 total starts, he only has 1 top 10, 4 top 20s. Okay, next in line, Anthony Alfredo, who just continually improves week in and week out. Not making huge strides, but making good, solid steps forward. He keeps just getting better and better each week. Somebody to definitely keep an eye on. And maybe some potential point PD upside because he's starting 24th. This will be his first Cup start at Pocono, but does have 1 truck. Has 1 truck start, and he finished 31st. Next in line, James Davison. We're starting to get into the grouping of guys that I may not have much interest in. 5,200, starting 36th, so there is potential for some PD upside, but probably not enough for me to take him. 12.0 DraftKings average and a 32.0 average finish. And has only raced here twice total in his NASCAR career. He finished 30th here in the second race last year, and no wins, no top 5 or top 10 or top 20s. All right, next in line, we've got Cody Ware, starting 35th with no data. And that's on purpose, because he hasn't ever run at Pocono before. 34th on the power ranking. And yeah, that's about it for Cody. Next in line, Josh Bilicki, 4,900, starting 33rd, 36th on the power ranking, and has started here 3 times in the last 5. His DraftKings average is 6.3 and a 33.7 average finish. He finished 34th here in the second race. No wins, no top 5s or 10s or 20s. Next in line, BJ McLeod, 4,800, starting 32nd, has raced here 4 total times, and has a negative 0.6 DraftKings average. Starting 32nd, definitely won't be having any of BJ McLeod. 37.8 average, 37.3 average finish. And then, like we were talking about, a whopping 37th last fall, or second race last year. All right, next in line, we've got Quinn Hoff at 4,700. We'll be starting 37th, almost dead last, but not quite. 33rd on the power ranking, and has 4 total starts here. So his stats are no top 5s, no top 10s, no top 20s, a 10.0 DraftKings average, and a 32.8 average finish. Okay, next in line, Garrett Smitley, 4,600, starting 30th. Has only 2 total starts here at Pocono, with a 8.0 DraftKings average and a 32.5 average finish. Next in line, Timmy Hill, 4,500. Value. If you are in need to take one of these guys at the bottom, you're almost always, for the most part, safest taking the last place starting position. And then he has a total of 3 starts here. No top 5, no top 10, no top 20s. A 8.2 DraftKings average and a 33.3 average finish. Finished 29th here in the second race at Pocono. Okay, now that we've gotten through that, let's look at our Dominator place differential and fill-in guys. Kyle Larson, top of the pack, because he's starting from the pole. I think has the best potential opportunity to lead quite a few laps, including getting quite a few of the finishing spot and place differential. All right, we'll just kind of skim through these, but on the Dominator side, we're looking for at least 1 or 2. So Kyle Larson, William Byron, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Joe Logano, Kurt Busch, or Denny Hamlin. Now we kind of slide over to our place differential guys, and Chase Elliott at $11,000, starting 29th. That probably is about correct for pricing. Ryan Blaney has a, let's see, 10,200 is second on the place differential. Then we can kind of look at our fill-in guys, which would include Eric Almirola, Daniel Suarez, Christopher Bell, Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace, and so on. Just kind of be aware of potentially some of these guys, if they fail inspection, will go to the rear, but definitely hard to say. All right, let's take a look at our optimal lineups from Pocono 2020. In the first race last year, we had 2 dominators, 1 finishing position, and that really means that, so Eric Almirola started first and finished third, so he didn't really have any PD upside, didn't really have any PD loss, even though he did lose 2 points, but that probably didn't affect him a whole lot. But his third place finish and laps led put him in this optimal lineup. But we had 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 8th, and 10th. And we're going to see the same similar type of thing for the second race at Pocono, with only 1 dominator with 1 finishing position, and which was John Hunter Nemechek, 24th, 19th. So only 5 of the 31 points came from place differential. The other 25 came from his finishing spot. But Denny Hamlin led 49 laps, 20 fast laps, 18 place differentials points, that 84.25 DraftKings. Kurt Busch did. Here's an example of, you can have somebody who actually comes out, lead laps, does have fast laps, but just because of their drop in finishing position, he only got 14 DraftKings points after leading a bunch of laps and having fast laps. Okay, well, that kind of takes a look at 2020. I'm not going to look at 2019 just because it's a different dynamic, because they had qualifying, the cars were set up a little different, the package was a little bit different. But do me a favor, if you like this content, if you've done well with your DraftKings after kind of going through some of the data that I've provided, and you think my content is in pretty good shape and you're winning some money, let me know. Leave a comment down below, hit that like button, Make sure you share and subscribe. And I appreciate you tuning in to another great week in racing and the draft. Another kind of unique weekend this weekend with the doubleheader going on. Lots of racing both Saturday and Sunday. And once again, I will have another video out for you guys tomorrow evening to get you set up for the Sunday second race at Pocono. Guys, have a great weekend. Weather looks like it's going to be really nice on the East Coast for the most part. Maybe some scattered showers here and there, but we should have some good weather for racing. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Get a good deep breath. Get ready to roll here. Only about one thing tonight, getting the W's, so got to be around at the end to do that. Get ready to roll tonight, boys. Let's go have some fun.
Don't get me any more fired up than I already am.
All the way to the checkered. You are fine. Nobody's got to run. Checker time, baby! Hell yeah! Proud of you there, Matt. Good job, pal. Thanks, man. Good job all day. Great work, my man. Great work. Keep putting yourself in position. We'll win our share, right? We got one back today, brother. Good job. Great job, guys. Excellent work, my man. Excellent work. Thank you.
Man, that's awesome. Set out with a goal, we got it here, bud. Thank you very much.
Really proud of you, man. Drove your butt off tonight. We had the fastest car here, bud.
Probably killed our deal there. Just feel like I gave one away.
Yeah, boys. Way to rebound. Great job.
Great job, bud. Really good job. Appreciate you hanging in there with us all weekend.
What a weekend. Good job. Thank you.